I know. It's been a long time. Been busy, work, family, all sorts of stuff going on in the real world. And I know, yeah, I've got fur on my face. It's a bit of a joke. Me and the lads at work had a bit of a gamble. I bet you can't do this. Alright then. So yeah, I'll stop shaving for a couple of weeks ago, and then we're gonna see how it goes. Now, it does make me laugh because three of us started it. I'm the only one still doing it, and it's only been a few weeks. It's a good exercise in willpower. We'll talk about that later on. Whew. So for now, couldn't wait to get out any longer. Full moon. I love camping on full moons, but unfortunately the weather's got a different idea. So let's crack into the. Wow, this place sure has grown. Wow. Some of you guys who aren't in the UK probably aren't aware, but we've had lots and lots and lots of rain over the winter, and the temperatures have been doing all sorts. So I've got a feeling it's like it all over the planet now. The weather patterns, seasons have altered. Okay, so you just got to do what you got to do and adapt with it. Mother Nature is stronger than you'd like to think. So onwards through the woodland. You guys can't smell this, but the smell of garlic is absolutely everywhere. Wow. Home sweet home. This level is a lot higher than over there, and I've camped here before where all of that is completely flooded and it's come up to near the top of the bank. So I'm pretty safe on this side, okay? So don't worry about me, I'm not going to get flooded out. Well, famous last words. So without further ado, I don't want to waste too much time talking and filming now, because I've got a lot to set up, and rain, heavy rain for 13 hours is due within the hour, so I really do have to move. And yeah, see all the white over there? It's wild garlic, baby, and it is everywhere, and it smells absolutely divine. Okay, we've got the Bergen off, and what I like to do, if it's heavy rain, I always get my poncho on the top, but not packed inside. You want to get to it quickly, okay? You don't want to take it all off and go opening all of this up and get everything else wet. So that is a Dutch military DPM, disruptive pattern material, or woodland camouflage. Ripstop, lightweight. I absolutely recommend these. I bought this a few years ago and I've used it a lot in heavy rain, and it's never ever let me down. And I've even camped underneath it in one of those hooch shelters. Excellent piece of kit, and I've got a feeling I will be using this later. As before, I always put a little light on the top, so I have to find my way around in the dark, it's not a problem. You've got a Bergen liner as well, as I say, because of the rain coming. It's going to be in the shelter anyway, so it's not a problem. And of course, have a dry bag inside as well, okay? Now, some of you think, well, that's a bit over the top, but believe you me, you're more than welcome to try camping in heavy rain with just a Bergen or a rucksack without any protection, and you'll soon come to the conclusion that you've made a mistake and everything's wet. Right, first thing out of the box, basher pegs or tent pegs. Now there's quite a few, I think there's 10 or 12 in there, because this shelter does need it, alright? And I don't want to spend time walking around everywhere looking for sticks to make tent pegs, because rain is imminent, as I said. Now this is the first time I've ever used this shelter. I've waterproofed it a few years ago, and some of you might have seen it's a big lump. There it is. Now I had a choice between green or black, the green being 30 something pounds, the black being free, so I chose the free one, as you do. So pretty much brand new, and I've waterproofed it with Fabsil Gold. So we'll see how good it is, alright? So, and the rest of the stuff is ground sheets, etc. So that's going to go back inside. And also, last but not least, 3 good hanks of paracord. That's the British military grade paracord for cargo chutes. So they're nice and strong, alright? Excellent. So as always, what you're not using, put back, alright? Don't just leave it all out, because I know it's going to rain soon and I don't want to risk getting all of my sleeping bag, etc. wet. So that's all sorted. We put that out of the way, no problem. Okay, the plan has changed. I was going to tie from this tree, and it's quite some considerable distance to go along to where I originally wanted to, which was that tree. So we've gone from there over to there, and there she is. Now I know some of you may think, I don't know, that looks silly or whatever, but to me, I don't really care what anyone thinks about what things look like, okay? Try not to copy SAS Survival handbooks and make textbook beautiful looking shelters. You're wasting your time and energy, okay? This gives me as much room as possible in there, and I'm relying on the waterproofness to prevent puddling. Now the main puddling hotspot I would envisage would be there, so I might have to tie from there up. All I've done is I've just put a little overhand, like a loop around the central arm sleeve. It's like a button, and it's just going around the tree and back on the other side, just to pull out and give myself a bit of headroom, okay? Now I'm not using a pole because I've got loads of space inside. The modification on the top is D-loops. Once the webbing, all I've done is tied it together really tight, and that's pretty much it. I've also guided out the front, the same principle, but obviously there's no trees present, so I've just pegged it straight into the ground. As I say, what I want to do is give myself as much room in there as possible, okay? Being 6 foot, I don't want to be crawling around in a little tiny teepee tent. In an old video ages ago, I sent it off to a friend to get modified, because I'm no good with a sewing machine and everything, so kindly sewed some zips onto there and a storm flap, so that's going to hopefully do the trick. So there's the view from the rear, because it's slightly sloping down towards the stream, and the concern is because of the rain, which is forecast pretty soon, there are some gaps underneath. So what I've decided to do is to kick as much leaf litter as I could around the bottoms, you know, from the top of the slope where the rain's going to come down. And in past experience, I've done this before and it's actually worked quite well, is I've just carved out a little gutter system along there, so when the rains do come, it's just going to wash down, channel down there and run off to the stream, okay? If I didn't put any leaf litter down and there were some gaps there, obviously the rain is just going to come down the hill and just wash me out, and that's silly. Alternatively, I could have pegged it straight into the ground, but that just loses you a couple of inches of height. So to do that, I've raised it off, pegged it out with the guys provided, and just built up the areas underneath. As I say, I wanted to get as much room as I could in there, and yeah, let's hope that Fabs with Gold does the trick, because if it doesn't, obviously you're all going to see firsthand. So there's the Bergen. I've just swept out inside. I'm learning all the way, but this is the first time I've ever done this, so I thought I'd share my findings. If you do something similar to this, if you choose the right spot and everything, make sure you clear the ground first before you set it up. I set it up and then had to get my hands and knees with a torch and start from the top, just go backwards and forwards, just sweeping it all down so it's nice and clean. You don't want no stones or sticky up bits or sharp bits in there, because we're going to be using air mats, and the last thing you want is to not bother, throw an air mat in there, and an hour of sleep it punches and you're, you know, losing your heat to the ground. Not good. So let's have one last look at this beautiful stream, and remember what this looks like, okay? And you see all the stones in the middle there, you see the bank on the other side. Well, with the rain forecast, that's just going to be proper mud water running down there, okay? This is from past experience. If it doesn't rain, it's going to be hilarious. Right, okay, we're making use of the dry weather before it absolutely buckets down, and it just renders filming outside not impossible, but a bit of a chore, okay? I just thought I'd show you this. This is a hoodie kindly sent to me by Rich at Torn Apart Self-Sufficiency. He's got an awesome channel on YouTube and he's big into vehicles, okay? So if any of you people vehicles and interested in bug out scenarios, etc., especially Land Rovers. The guy's an absolute Land Rover nut. Okay, you cut his arm off and loads of little Land Rovers fall out. He's crazy about Land Rovers. Right, before I start getting all of my kit out and lay it all out on the floor for you guys, because you always ask me about kit, so I'm going to try my best to get it all out before the rain comes. Before I do, I'd like to show you this. Just a couple of pairs of gloves and a little bottle of beer, which just keeps it protected. Okay, what you don't want to do is to be taking it in and out of vehicles and dumping it down on the floor and forget, and it cracks and breaks. It's just a nightmare. Okay, incidentally, this is going to be a full moon, and what we have here is king goblin. These are actually born on the full moon, and today it's going to die on a full moon. That's a cruel sense of irony, but very fitting nonetheless. So that's my little tip. Wrap your bottles up, anything you can, gloves, socks, hats, doesn't matter. Just make sure you just don't throw it in there and it breaks. So there we are. I'm very fortunate it hasn't rained yet. Just goes to show the forecast isn't always accurate. There is an olive drab PLCE Bergen, made around the early 90s for the Gulf War, maybe a bit before that. Right, starting from here, what I mentioned earlier, it's the Dutch ripstop camouflage poncho. Very lightweight. It's not Gore-Tex, so it will keep you dry. Some tent pegs. Been using these for years. They're cheap, they're heavy, but they're pretty good. And they do bend now and again, but it's no big deal. I'll just put them in the vise at the shed, give them a tap, and they're good as new. And here is the dry sack. This one is actually the one that Berghaus made and designed, or designed and made, for the Vulcan 2 Bergen, the Cyclops carry system. Awesome bit of kit, very strong, reliable, lightweight, very good. These are awesome. I was put onto these by Shovel Ricky on YouTube. These are the brand new British Army in self-inflating mats, the 3/4 length. Now, one of the reasons why I've been off YouTube for a while is I've had a really bad back, a lot of back pain, a lot of drugs, and it's not good filming like that. So that's one of the reasons. So I'm going to have one on top of the other, nice and comfortable for my bad back. All right. We've got, if any of you believe in Father Christmas, we got a Millbank bag, which is a water filter bag, which I'll hope to show in a minute. That is just packed with all of my food. It just keeps it nice and in the way. And this, well, I'm going to talk about this guy later on. You know you are, mate. And you're all laughing right now, I know. A carrier bag here. Never forget a carrier bag, because the amount of times you have to pack up stuff which is wet, dirty, muddy, etc., you don't want all of your kit getting mucked up. Chuck it in a carrier bag, keeps it clean and tidy. All right. My little Swiss Army knife, which was modified by Dell at Redpath Knife and Tool. I've had all of this stupid serrations taken off the blade, and it's a chisel grind, like a razor. A lovely bit of kit. I just don't like serrations. It's my choice. The paracord we saw earlier, there's some bits left. Insect repellent, very good idea, because in a moment this place is teeming with midges, tiny little bugs. Okay, I know it's got kid stuff on there, but I've got no ego, it doesn't bother me, and if it bothers you, you know, it's fine. But it works, it's exactly the same stuff. There's the ale, as we saw earlier. There's a nice little bottle opener from my friend at Mission Smith Blades. Nice one, brother. We've got titanium spork, which I've had a while now. Not really used it, so I thought, why not just take it out and give it a go. Okay. Now moving along, we've got the little Esbit coffee maker. Now, some of you guys haven't seen this before. You're in for a treat. Okay, it's a wicked bit of kit. It really, really is. All right. A couple bit more bits of scoff, some noodles. I like these ones. They're cheap and cheerful. They're only 30 odd p a pack from, I think they're from Poland or somewhere, and they've actually got oil, garlic paste, vegetables, and the seasoning. So, you know, 3 packs for £1. It's better than that super noodle stuff, in my opinion. A nice little woolly hat for tonight, in case it gets a bit cold. We've got the fireproof gloves there for handling hot items. All right. And my trusted, die-hard, faithful companion, my BCB Crusader mug, and heavy cover, awesome company, made the lid. We've got the Survivor 58 water bottle, which I'm going to be using in a sec in conjunction with the Millbank bag. My poo kit, so it's just toilet roll and hand sanitizer. Okay. First aid kit, there's some serious stuff in there for big wounds because we are using knives, alright? But speaking of knives, this was the blade kindly gifted to me by Adrian at Chiro's Knives. Absolutely love using this. It's lightweight, strong, it never rusts, which is a big thing for me. And my good friend Sandy at Jacklaw Knives was kindly enough to make me the sheath and put the Jacklaw logo on it, which means a lot to me, Sandy. You don't really realise, mate, but you're doing an excellent job in helping a lot of people out in the community, so that's awesome. We've got the little military stoves. Now, I've never ever tried these before, okay, so it's going to be a first. There's no point buying stuff, keeping it, not using it. You've got to try it. So if there's any shortcomings or any plus points, I'm just going to reveal the truth of my opinions about these, okay? Just in case it wasn't enough, I've got a backup. That's how they come, all sealed, all right? So we got that. The little charging lantern. It's just an LED torch which hangs up, pulls out, and you can recharge your mobile phone on it. Made by Rav Power. As I say, it's quite old technology now because the battery systems have improved somewhat in the last 2 or 3 years alone. We've got a nice little MTP pouch given to me by Peter. That's got my cigar Finalizing in it. Speaking of cigar, we've got a nice stick in there. And yes, we've got a lovely pea bottle, kindly given to me by my good friend Pete, Mindwise Man at Maverick Outdoors. Awesome, mate. I can't think of anything worse than climbing out of his sleeping bag, out of his tent, standing outside in the rain for a pee. Just do it in there, okay? And as taken on Brecon Beacons for my trip is my UCO candle lantern with the little LED torch built in underneath. So that's going to be hanging up inside, giving a bit of warmth and a bit of ambient light, which is very, very nice. And I picked up these a long time ago from my friend Simon at Wilderness Leisure. There was carrying my little Sawyer mini water filter kit in there, but I'm not really using that. I'm a big fan of this guy instead now. But the candle lantern fits in there perfect, which is very nice. And the actual ground sheet itself, this was a gift from K Jumper 1, Ken. Very lightweight, very versatile because obviously of the colour and the heat reflective quality with the silver lining on the other side. Awesome. Right, okay, and also last but not least, before I start getting it all out and using it, is the food that I'm packing for this weekend. Now, a lot of you guys who follow me on Instagram are aware already that I'm trying to go vegetarian. I know, it's a big shock, okay, but I'll explain a bit about that later on. So we've got some noodles, because noodles are always cool. And these are those really cheap ones, okay, 3 of them for £1, and I find them very, very good quality, okay. Now these are an excellent company, okay. I've got some vegan friends, and if it's good enough for them, believe you me, it's good enough for anyone. Now, to me, vegan eating is the pinnacle, okay. It's a great example to set, and that is no crap in there, all right, excellent. Speaking of no crap, I've made my own fruit and nut mix, and also we've got some mango and some pineapple in there, all dried out. The Food Doctor, organic stuff, now this is awesome. I don't know if you can see that, we've got cereal, pulses, beans and grains, all mixed up in there. And sometimes it can be a bit boring, okay, on its own. So this stuff, now this is awesome. This is just about to run out now, I love this stuff to death, so I've got to find some more of that. I've got some honey, which is always cool. And these, I know, it's not vegetable, it's meat. So I am going to be eating this because it's sent by a dear friend of mine, okay? Now look at this. Now look at this. There he is. There's the fella right there. It's Dawson. Check him out, man. He's 5 years old. There's a linebacker. Awesome defense. You go, kid. And big fan of the channel. And big shout out to his mum and dad and his other brothers and sisters. All cool in the game. Big fan. And I love you, man. And I hope as you get older, you're going to be trying out outdoor stuff because it's better than screens. So that's the food I'm going to be consuming over this weekend. It's going to be for around 30 hours, so that should keep me going. Okay, so we're down by the stream obviously, and we've got a millbank bag. Now, when you first get these, they're brand new, all right? You just wash them in mild detergent and you rinse them like crazy, so all of the soap stuff's gone, all right? Now, every time you go to use them, you've got to pre-wet them, all right? So all you've got to do is just make sure that you soak it in water, all right? It's as easy as that. Nice and simple. Now obviously the longer you leave it in there the better. I don't see any real need to leave it in the water for more than 5 minutes. Alright. So if you can tether it especially a flowing stream like this, it saves you having to hold it, alright? That's where my man Dawson comes in with his little hook. You can just clip it on and leave it. Okay, it's been soaking for quite a while now. It's nice and soft and malleable, alright? So, all we're going to do is we're just going to use this to gather. Now, there is debate. You can turn it the other way around, it doesn't matter, because this is the first stage filtration bag, alright? Which means all of the bits are going to not come through the bottom. It doesn't matter, alright? Now, once it's full up like this, it will gradually go down to that black line, and once it's past that black line, the water is pretty much got no rubbish in there, alright? Now, this won't kill all of the bugs, this just gets most of the bits out, alright? That's where my filter bottle comes in handy for the next stage. Now, because we've got the little clip on the end there, my dear friend, it just enables us to clip it onto a branch so it hangs. That's where your filter bowl comes in. Now, you can scoop water straight off of the stream into this, but to make the filter last a bit longer, you make sure it goes through that first, alright? It's gone past the black line, it's been a while, and all we do, we just place this underneath and it shall fill up nice and easy. Okay, so now we're going to be having a quick look at these roll mats or air mats. Now, I bought this off eBay a couple of weeks ago, and the other day I bought another one because I thought, you know, if one breaks or gets lost or damaged, at least I've got another one I can get straight away rather than send off for another one and then find out they're out of stock, you know, blah blah blah. They're pretty good because they actually come next day, and the shipping says it's like 6 days, so that's pretty awesome. Now, what I like about these is the sort of material is slightly, very slightly sticky, so when it's in a hammock, for example, it's not going to slide around as much, okay, which is quite cool. They pack up relatively small. You can see that's my hand. Alright, it's pretty awesome, I think. Comes with 2 straps. As I say, I bought this, okay, I haven't been sent it to make sure, tell you guys it's brilliant and all that rubbish. Okay, so, but these designs are very close to Thermarest, where they've got some sort of polyurethane foam cell structure within the mat to make it more comfortable and keep the insulation from you. Okay, now there's a bit of blurb on there. I don't know if you can see it because of the shadows, etc. Alright, so that's what we're looking at. Now, another thing about this, which I didn't realise, is the little bag it comes with. Check this. Yes, this is British Army issue now. Doesn't mind knowing. It's fleece lined. So you can stuff, I don't know, your smock, waterproof jacket, whatever you want inside there, and that becomes a pillow. So me being me, I haven't used this for ages. I'm going to put my inflatable pillow, just a little cheap one off eBay for $5 or something. Put it inside there and then inflate it. So see how we get on, right? This video is all about comfort and getting away from all really, but I'll go into that a bit later on. At the moment, I've got to get this filmed before the epoxy rain turns up. So once I get these 2 blown up, as I've done with my mate who was in the Marines on the last overnighter I've done, before the last one, I've banded these 2 together, alright, so they don't slide around everywhere. So that's what you're going to be doing right now. Right, as you can see, it's filtered our water. It's got all of the big bits out of it. As I say, all it does is it just prolongs your filter in your bottle, okay? Drinking this as it is very dangerous. You should never do it, okay? So let's put the filter on and get something to eat. Okay, and that's all of the filter is, okay? I've been using these for quite a while now and they've never done me in, so I can recommend them. As I say, I bought these out of my own money, not being paid. Oh, I'm not going to say that no more, it's boring. I don't care. Right, make sure that it's screwed on tightly, that's very important, okay? Because if you don't do that on tightly and you get some contaminated water leak out through the bottom, you could be in trouble, okay? So really make sure that you've got her on there nice and tight, yeah? Pucker, right, sorted. Okay, now one of the beauties about this is you don't need much effort. I just can't believe I'm squeezing a 58-pound bottle like this. That's pretty cool, isn't it? As I say, we don't need too much water, alright? Let me see, 2 packs. Alright, and that should do us. Now when you close these, especially if you're going to be drinking from the top, use something that's clean, right? Don't use your manky hands. Just a little tip. Well, what a lovely spot, eh? Beautiful. So, we're going to be trying out the little gel stove for the first time. It comes with its own little cooking rest, what you want to call it. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this incorrectly. Now, you can do this any way you want, but these are issued to the armed forces, okay? Now, what the recruits are taught of how to use these is probably done for a reason. Now, we're going to be using a knife that they actually use as well. And because mine's got no serrations on there and it actually has a point, it makes this a lot easier. Why they made these knives without a point and serrations on is absolutely beyond me. I've no idea why. Don't make the mistake of cutting the whole thing off, alright? Crisscross, that's the best way to do it. Now I'm going to do this on the ground because it's safer. Oh wow, believe you me. It goes through there nice and easy, alright? Now, from how I understand it, the reason why they do this is it just gives it a little bit of a wind protection, alright? Nice lump of gel in there. Okay. Whether it lasts longer, I don't know. But what you could do is close it in a bit, I think, and it will focus the heat better. Maybe last longer. Who knows? It's worth a try, right? Okay. So now we've got our little stove done like this. It comes with this, obviously. Now what it does is it sits, obviously. This is for you guys who've never done this before, okay? It just sits inside the gap like this. Okay, so now we've got our stove all set. We've got our Old Faithful, my turbo flame. Doesn't take a lot to light that. One of the best lighters money can buy these. They're only about £7, they last years. Right, so now we've got a lit. We're going to see how she is. Put up some water. A nice simple test. It's very much like that Fire Dragon gel. There's no smell, there's no smoke, so I'm not sure if it's going to soot up the pot at all. So we'll have to wait and see. While waiting for our water to boil, we're going to refill or replen our Survivor 58 bottle. Yeah, it's always a good idea to make sure your water bottle's topped up all the time. Okay. Oh, you need it out here, it's very humid as well. Yeah, what I like about these noodles is they come with all of these little extras. Pretty cool. So I think you get more for your money rather than just buying those super noodles or cheap noodles, because you're missing out on all the fun. So now we've got our noodles in there and the water's getting nice and warm. We'll stick her back on the boil. Right, this is taking forever and a day to cook. So lessons learned all the time now, which is it's what it's all about, you know, trying things. Now looking at these noodles we get from Tesco's now, you've got the vegetables in there which is dried, and you've got some garlic with some oil in there as well, which is going to be awesome. Garlic and oil, it got me thinking. I'm actually surrounded by garlic, so I'm going to actually get some of that out and put it in as well, because I do like garlic and it's very good for you, so I don't see why not. Swans up at last. I don't know, that's taken about 15 minutes. So in with the veggies. It's taken on most of the water as well, so I want you to put some more water just to thin it out a bit, because that's a bit too crazy in there. And all of these oils are going in. Oh, I love it. Good stuff. Well, that's pretty cool. It's got there in the end. What I've come to notice is if you think the gel's taking its time to burn, take the cup off, have a look at it, because what's happened is the actual gel itself had a film go across the top of it, which made the flame very, very small. Just found a stick and give the film a bit of a stir up, and the flames are just kind of roaring out. So I'm not sure if it's something you have to keep an eye on. I don't know if it's a one-off thing. I don't know if it's something I've got to learn. I really don't know. I'm just pointing out my findings. And also, you don't want to just keep burning the fuel. So I'm going to fold that over and snuff it out. It's the same thing with the Trangia. Because it's got like a rubber seal, you don't want to melt it, so you just deplete the oxygen. Okay? You don't want to leave it on there. That's it. No more flame. Job done. So you find the middle and you just very slowly pull it upwards. And what you will find is this. Doesn't look much. In fact, some of it may have come off, but it's very, very small. But that tastes absolutely beautiful. And they're the bits we're just going to break off and put in our soup. Okay, we're back. And actually the flowers are good too. But make sure there's no bugs on there, okay? Because you don't want them. They don't taste too good. Now, ideally you want to do this just when the time is right, but it looks like the wild garlic season is just finishing. Well, it is here anyway, okay? But these are absolutely delicious as well. You can actually put these on salads and whatnot, okay? In fact, you know, this time of year, if you're near some woodland and it is in absolute abundance, you know, only take what you need. You don't have to go crazy, just a small amount, because you don't need much. It's very, very good for you. I know you shouldn't really be buying garlic if you've got it all, because it just gets wasted if you just leave it. Oh wow, the smell is absolutely amazing. It's fresh because it's straight out of the ground. There's no chemicals. I'm a big fan on organic, by the way. I don't like pesticides and God knows what sprayed on the food that I eat. And this stuff, awesome. Why not? And you can actually see the, you know, the oils coming out. So we're going to mix that in, let it warm through, and that's us. Now there are plenty of other wild edibles around, but personally I think you really do need to know what you're doing, okay? I'm very confident about wild garlic, so I choose to use it. So it's just a rule of thumb, okay? Only pick what you absolutely know what it is. Because there's some even very similar things to wild garlic, it looks like it, which isn't. Alright, so you've got to be very careful. And of course, you do your taste tests, alright? Just check it out on the internet. I'm not going to go through it. So there we go. Yeah, that seriously is good. Yeah, it really does bring a new dimension to your noodles with the oil, the crunch, and of course that background garlic flavour. Well, there she is. She's cool to the touch now, and I've just folded it back over, as you can see. Now they just lock on. I quite like these. Great design, and it just fits underneath like that. Takes up very little room, but I do have to practice more with these to understand them better. I'm thinking what you need to do is to mix the gel up before you light it every time, and keep an eye on it, because as I said, I think it forms a film over it and the flames die right down, and give it a stir and woof, up it goes again. But yeah, I'll continue to trial these and see what I think. Okay, so we're keeping the water bottle topped up, very important as we just discussed. The area's been cleared away where I've been cooking, and I've got really good garlic breath now, which is good because the amount of insects and midges around, you know, you sweat garlic and it keeps them away for a bit more. We've washed up the mug and that's just hanging up to dry now. An old favourite, just grab a little clump of moss, just took it down to the stream, give it a good scrub out and a rinse, and that's just air drying now. And I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to go and venture the other side of the stream, because you know, when this rain does come, you'll see I won't be able to do what I'm going to do now. So let's see if I don't fall up. Yeah, this is quite cool. As you can see, the wild garlic is absolutely everywhere, all the way along the bank. I think it favours dark, damp conditions to grow in. So, I mean, look over there. It's just everywhere you can see. Actually, it's just it's everywhere. So, oh, yeah, I'm on the other side. This looks like a deer trail actually. I have heard deer walk over here and bark as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we can find any tracks, especially along the muddy bits. Yeah, very boggy over here. As I said, this ground lies a lot lower from where I'm camping, hence it's just all swampy around here. Okay, if it rains very bad like it did when Roach and I camped here a few years back, this was all underwater, so I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. Oh, this is not nice. Why do people make a mess? You know, it really gets on my nerves when I see this. Words can't describe it really. I'm not even going to waste negative energy talking about it. But what I will look at is this. Now that is pretty funky. I think Faye flies in the windscreens into her shroomies. Look at that. That's shroom heaven, baby. How beautiful is that? Completely untouched and undisturbed. Let to do its thing. Wow. I haven't got a clue what it is. Well, no doubt someone in the comments will mention it below. Oh, it's beautiful around here. It really is nice. Not sure where to go. Let's go this way. I'm a big fan on listening to my instincts. Have done for years really, but lately, all the time. You know, you get that split second gut feeling. Go left, go right. Pick this one, don't, you know, whatever. Listen to that, mate, and you'll probably end up where you need to end up. And that only makes sense to some people, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Right, we've got bluebells along here, so never ever tread on bluebells. So I'm just going to go on a path that's already been trodden. Apparently, when you tread on a bluebell, it never ever grows again, it kills it dead. So, you know, if you're one of these people who likes to wander in a great big collection of bluebells and take a photograph, you know, just think about that you've just killed hundreds of them just to get a picture. Wow, look at this. Grass, wow. Grass in a woodland. That's a new one on me. Now, be careful. Especially if it's long grass like this and you're walking through it. I'm on a path, it's okay, but ticks like to reside near the tops of long grass. So, I mean, I always wear trouser twists on the bottom of my trousers because ticks will climb up your legs if you don't, you know, secure them. If you just wear trousers and shoes or boots without elasticated pieces on the bottom of your trousers, you really do increase the risk of getting ticks on your legs. Alright, wow, look at this. Wild garlic heaven. Let's carry on, shall we? It's fascinating, isn't it? I've been camping here for, well, I don't know, 4 years now. And I've never ever come over here. It's the first time. So, all of you subscribers, old and new, people who just happen to watch this video, who are unable to do what I'm doing right now, this is for you, my friends. The feeling of moist, humid conditions with the earth, mud with a massive tone of garlic coming through, obviously. It's beautiful, it really, really is. Oh, but yeah, as I said, it's swamp country. That's probably why the garlic's doing so well over here, because it's damp and dark. Very nice. I don't think we can go up there anymore. I'm not even going to think about going through there. Tell you what though, very, very humid. I should imagine it's near on 100% at the moment. Wow, look at these. Now if you've got kids, and if you're a small child watching this, when you see holes like this in woodland with bluebells, sometimes, but only at night time, that I've been told, I've never seen one with my own eyes, you do see fairies around here, okay? You'll be very, very lucky to see one, but they play and hide in the holes. So, I can't tell you how good it feels to be surrounded by all of this green and nature. There apparently, I don't know whether they can prove it, but scientific studies prove that only 20 minutes of this experience will do massively to combat stress. You know, if you're like in an office environment, you know, targets, big stress, big expectations, turn your phone off, come to a place like this, don't disturb anything, and just unwind. And you'll be surprised by the time you get back, you feel really tired just by walking like this. It really does. Reset you. Yeah, it's good to reset. It really is. So we're going back along this trail now. Thanks for sticking around for so long. This video will go on for a while, especially because it's the first one I've done for a while. So I really do appreciate it, because you know, life is very, very precious and sometimes shorter than expected. So to spend the time watching this, it really does mean a lot, okay? So I really do appreciate it. Let's go on a different trail here and see where we end up. Yeah, it's hard to believe that by this time tomorrow this will all be underwater. But yep, it will happen. Yeah, the trail's thinning out now, so I'm guessing only animals will use it from this point onwards. Oh look, it is the same place. Very deceptive. Okay, so that was a brief little wander on the other side. It's like a jungle out here, man. Very awesome. And I love these grasses as well. Beautiful. You see them in garden centres and they charge a fortune for them, but in a natural habitat, it's just stunning everywhere you look. Beautiful. And you can see in the distance black shape of my tent, which is where we're going to go right now, because you know, with the rain forecast, it could literally bosh, heavy rain straight away. So you got no notice. And I don't want to be caught out by being quite away from camp. Very nice. One day what I might do is do a hammock actually, from that tree there, going across that tree there, swinging above the stream. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So if any of you guys want to see me do that in a video, let us know, if you remember. And yeah, I'll do that. Why not? You only live once. Just grab as much experience as you can. That's my opinion anyway. Well, can you tell what it is yet? Yeah, it's starting to rain. That was good timing, wasn't it? So luckily I've got all the sleep system already set up. Bergen kit all stowed away as it should be. It's not all over the place. You don't want to do that. You can see him buzzing around. Yeah, right in front. Little monkey. He's just doing his thing. Beat it. So, I don't know how much outdoors time we're going to get now. We'll see. It's early doors yet. I've still got my poncho, so I might change to the waterproof camcorder and carry on going for a wander later on. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's perfect time to do that little trip and come back. Well, as a comparison, you've got the UCO candle lantern, the little LED underneath, and you've got the RAV Power USB charged lantern. Now, obviously that's a whole lot brighter. And this is just like an emergency should you run out of a candle, that you got something else. Wow, the rain is just not doing much really. But I was a bit wary about that area puddling, so I've pulled that out as well. All it was the excess from that cord. Just looped it around there and just tied it off, and it's doing the job. It's giving me a lot more headroom when I sit up in her as well, which is pretty cool. But even though you can hear the rain falling, you know, I'm not gonna bother about putting a punch on just yet. It's just not heavy enough. I mean, you can tell by the stream the amount that's falling. I mean, the birds are still giving it large, so maybe this is the strongest the rain's going to be, who knows. But it looks like the waterproof stuff on the canvas is doing a terrific job. There's no seeping, puddling, it's just beading up on the and just running off. It's quite cool to see it run down actually. It's hard to catch them because they're so fast. Yeah, it's so far so good. But you know, as you well know, this is really early doors. When you want some serious heavy rain, which is what I'm hoping, to see how good this stuff is. As I say, I don't really want to recommend anything until I know it works myself. And yeah, looking good. Yeah, it's all good. As I say, we've sorted the back out so we loads of headroom. I just got a bit bored in there, so I went for a wander. I was thinking later on, you know, if the rain just honks it down and I'm in there, you know, trying to cook, smoke a cigar, etc. You know, there's no ventilation. I open up the front there and it's just all exposed, and so I thought that's pretty much a bad idea. What I could have done, in hindsight, was where the ridge line's going across, I could have draped some sort of basher or a tarp over it, like an A-frame, like a porch entrance. That could have worked. So I thought, you know what, I've got the poncho with me, so I thought, sod it, I'm going to put a little shelter up as well. Now, no problem, didn't take long really, just a paracord I had on me, just tied off the head so water doesn't get in. Just made a couple of tent pegs, Incidentally, the knife I used from Chiro's Knives, absolutely awesome. Awesome. I put pictures on Instagram about that. It went through a 1-inch piece in one chop. You know, considering it's a very thin butcher type knife, very lightweight. Oh, I'm surprised to see it cleanly cut straight through that. So later on, when I fancied a smoke and just want a bit of fresh air. Well, to be honest, if I'm really honest, I don't really like tents. Tents are too intense. I like to be outside, you know, in the fresh air. So underneath just a simple little shelter like this, you know, I've put a prop. As I say, I chopped through that with that knife. I couldn't believe it. The little bag's handy up there for sticking your phone and bits and pieces in case you get lost. So that's pretty cool. It's just a bit of space for myself to sit under out of the rain, to have a smoke with my beer and watch this little stream fill up with water. So yeah, I was going to go back to the car. I've got my bug out bag in the back always, and that's got my DPM basher in there as my shelter kit. So I was thinking, no, rather than going back there, I'll just use this. You know, it's fine, it does me. So yeah, we got a secondary shelter going on, and I know it's waterproof and it's an excellent bit of kit, and I'm going to remain dry. Hello, welcome to my humble abode. Hey, radio, right, we're out of the rain and all good. We're going to go through the S-Bit coffee maker. Right, I like to keep it in this little bag, alright, just in case it gets all carbon, because I have cooked this on open fires and it makes it all sooty, and if you don't put it in a bag of some sort, you know, it just mank your kit up unnecessarily. It's been broken in, as you can see. This is for you guys who've never seen one before. If you have seen this one before, bear with me. I'm just showing you guys kit that you don't really see a lot of. Now what you do is you unscrew it, okay, it just comes in its constituent parts. Now the welding is crap, to be honest. I've seen a lot better, but it does the job and it hasn't broken on me yet, and I've had this 4 years now and I've used it quite a bit, as you can see. It comes with this very, very fine strainer and this silicone seal. Now I check the seal regularly because I'm just fearful that it's going to perish, but so far it's spot on. All it does is that just sits in there and the seal just goes on top just to keep it in there. Alright, so when you tighten it all together, we've got a nice pressurised seal, and pressure is the name of the game. Now you have that, right? Now you put your coffee grounds on top of here. Some bits go down a hole, doesn't matter, it's no big deal. And you put water in here, and you've got this pressure release valve. Now what happens is the water boils up in here, and it gets to such a point that it forces everything through this hole. Pulls all of the water, steam, coffee this way, through your sieve, and out through your spout. It's a genius little idea, and I really, really like it. Okay, so as we said, we're just going to chuck our water in there. Now personally, I just fill it up to that little pressure release valve that I pointed out on the side there, with that little nut on the front. You can go over, but I don't know, for some reason I just keep it filled up to that point, and it's fine for me. Alright. Now this is very, very, very strong coffee, alright, so you don't need a lot of this. This is pretty much borderline, or probably goes past espresso, alright, because I do like it strong. I don't see the point in drinking namby-pamby coffee. If you want a coffee, get it done right, okay? So we've got that, and we got this. Now there's enough for 3 servings in here, and you ain't got to be precise, you just do it by eye, alright? It's good enough for me. All we do, we just screw it on. Now you do have to be careful with this. The threads are very wide. I'm not sure if you can cross thread it, but you just have to make sure that it goes on nice and straight, alright? What you don't want to do is do it incorrectly and find out it'll go everywhere. So that's looking pretty good, nice and level. Now I'll just take it back just a tiny little bit, not a lot, just a tiny bit. That just makes it easy for when you actually unscrew it later on, right? So we're just going to get the fire set up now and we'll be good. Okay, like I mentioned before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this gel a bit of a stir up. Alright. It's quite strange, this stuff. It's very, it's not liquid, it's very, I don't know, gloopy almost. Very strange substance. Right. Well, it doesn't take long at all. And of course, we're going to put our little stand on there. Good. And obviously, our coffee. Now, all that's going to do is when it's ready, it's just going to fill the cup up. Well, not fill it up, but it's going to come out there, alright? Be interesting to see how long this takes because, you know, after giving it a stir around, it might be a bit better than last time. And there we pretty much have it. It's a bit like being at Starbucks. So yeah, we're just going to let that empty itself out with the pressure, and we've got ourselves a nice hot clean cup of coffee, which is very welcome indeed. Now if you haven't got anything hot, gloves to take this off, just use your knife, just hook it off, or a stick, whatever you need to. Yep, that's pretty much done. That's us. We'll take him out of the way too. He can do his huff and puff. Pretty much the same as that. That's done his thing now. It's not a bad little stove, but I think it does take a long time. Okay. That's what I done last time. Right. Now from the Bushcraft Kid, we got some awesome honey. In fact, let's give them a big up for our friends in the USA. Awesome. I just love it that these are so small and that you can take them all sealed as well, which is very nice to see. Oh, that smells strong. Wow. We are out in the field after all. Wow, check it out. You don't get much better than this. I've stopped using sugar in my coffee for a long time now, and I've found a local supplier, and I urge anyone to do the same. A lot of the honey that you find in the shops, what they do is they pasteurize it, which that means they heat it up to a certain temperature. And what that does is that just kills off all of the beneficial antioxidants, etc. So what you want, in effect, is honey, which is literally comes straight out of the honeycombs, and that's it, no heat needed. And that is the stuff to go for. Very, very, very good for you. And I have between 1 and 2 cups of this coffee a day with that lovely honey in it, and yeah, thoroughly recommend it. Let's make sure that's all mixed together, and we're good. Cheers. Oh, this is nice. Awesome. Well, this really is the life. This stuff is just awesome. And with a view like that, Wow, can you see the rain running off that tent? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I'm only going to know if this works tomorrow morning when I pack up, I guess. We'll see. You never know. You never know.
Well, this is nice. Just come inside for a nice comfortable lay down on the 2 air mats, and I've got my sleeping bag folded in half on top of that, so it is really like a proper bed. I'm stretched out head to foot, and I'm just about fitted in there. It's a bit of a tight fit, but it's doable. Okay, it will do the job. I mean, usually, you know, when I sleep anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I sleep in a fetal position, and hence that's why I've got these shorter mats, because it takes up too much room and they're not really needed unless you, like, you know, sleep straight. Okay. So yeah, very comfortable, nice to unwind. You know, turn the phone off completely. You know, text and phone call, all the rest of it, just see you later. You know, this is me time. Even though you guys are coming along as well, but it really is nice to just get away from it all and you know, proper unwind. I mean, you know, the rain is coming and going and the wind, etc., and you know, we're perfectly dry here. I've had a good look around the tent and there's not one drop coming here. I'm very impressed. I'll keep you updated through the course of the camp to let you know how it goes. So far so good, very happy. And that just lit that little UCI candle lantern just to see what it's like in here, and it's just enough light to see what you're doing. Okay, it's not blinding, it's just right. So yeah, very nice.
Wow, this is nice. Really relaxing. Absolutely, really glad I've done this now. You know, even despite, you know, the rain on and off, it's no problem really, to be honest. I think the canopy's blocking a lot of it, which is great. Different story from the middle of a field now. But what I've done is I've gone into the tent and I've grabbed my 2 army inflating mats that I've banded together. It just didn't make sense, you know, sitting down on the floor. It was great at the time, but after going back in there for a little lay down, you know, you realise, you know, you're quite wet and you're damp, and it's not good, especially when it gets dark and it gets colder. You know, you don't want to be out here shivering. Okay, so it just makes sense to take these out of the tent, lay them on the floor, and just sit in them. Oh wow, great move, pure comfort. And this is testament to how good they are. I've inflated them right up, put them straight on the floor, no punches. They're really well made. Okay, and I noticed the sky was clearing in places, so maybe we will see the full moon tonight. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, I would imagine 2, 3, 4 full moons out of a whole year you could see, because it's a clear night. But the rest of the time, I should imagine it's going to be overcast, foggy, raining, cloudy, whatever. So it's quite special when you do see the moon in all her beauty, because it's amazing. It puts you back in your place. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, don't want to go on about all that just yet. I was sitting there earlier and noticing the little midges everywhere. Bloody hell. So I said to a friend of mine on Instagram, I said, do you know what, I might do a smoky fire, you know, just to keep the bugs and midges away, because, you know, I've got my mosquito repellent on, it's fine, but they're just bloody everywhere, they're just hovering. And sometimes they keep going in your nose and your ears, and they're a bloody nuisance. So I thought, okay, what I could do is I could spend, I don't know, maybe an hour or so going around gathering loads of firewood and whatnot. But I thought, do you know what? Nah, sod it. You know, this is a no bullshit channel after all. So the truth is, this is a chill weekend, and I've got nothing to prove. I've done all the natural fire lighting and blah blah before. So I thought, what I'll do, I'll go back to the vehicle and I'll get my bag of kindling and a bag of logs. They're always in the boot ready. Okay. The reason why I put it in there is if you got really bad weather and you needed a fire for whatever reason, you know, you haven't got to go like we are now, hunting around. Everything's absolutely saturated. You can get it done quickly. All right. Now it's important sometimes to get fires done quickly, because you never know. All right. So I went back there with the Bergen, filled it up with logs and me kindling. That's there behind me, so I'll get going in a minute. And also the fire lighting bag. Now,
I don't know if I've shown this before, so I apologise if I have. I've done loads of videos now, I can't remember them all. One of the first things I put into my fire kit, fire kits and vehicles. Now, just quickly, you want to try and give yourself as many different scenarios and chances of lighting fires as you can, right? Don't just scrimp and chuck a lighter and some Tampax in there and that's it, you know. Give yourself options, right? Because options are always good, because you never know what sort of situation or weather conditions you're going to be in particular fires, right? So, fatwood, okay? Now, a lot of you know what fatwood is and how cool it is, right? Now, the reason I've got a nice big wad of this is because I absolutely love the stuff. It's fantastic. It smells lovely too. And if you was in a proper state, you can actually feather stick these and it lights a whole lot easier, alright? So we got some fatwood down there. Some lint out of your tumble dryer. Now that will take a spark. From a flint and steel or a ferro rod, alright? That will get going so easy that you wouldn't believe. Very good for chucking in a bird's nest if it's a bit damp, you know, that will get heat in there, dry it out and combust it all. Now this one is it's an idea from my friend Scott over at Wessex Blades. Baby oil. Do you remember when we spoke on the TV and he talked about baby oil? Excellent. So if you've got a fire going and it's struggling a bit and then the rain starts to get the better of it, squirt some of that on there. It will generate so much heat and it will get you out of a jam, right? There's no shame in using this stuff, okay? You know, just because, you know, oh, you have to use birch bark and, you know, King Alfred cakes, and you don't have to. You use what you want to, alright? But this stuff is excellent and I really do recommend this. Myself, I've put loads of Ranger bands all over it because, you know, once the fire gets going, you put them on there. It keep it going a bit longer while you're arranging your fire and building it, alright? So it's a good little get out of jail free card, that one. Always have a couple of tea lights, candles, which you can just use your lighter. Cheap lighter, doesn't have to be a bit, you know, the lighter's a lighter, right? As long as it's in a bag. Incidentally, the bag, that was from a 24-hour British Army ration pack. Very strong seal bag, really. You don't want no thin stuff, because if you do get a little rip in it, and you do get moisture or rain in there, and you do need to light the fire in that emergency, you don't want to take any chances. Get yourself a good heavy duty bag, alright? Now this one, Silvo. Now it's pretty much exactly the same as Brasso or Duraglit, if you remember that Duraglit back in the forces, cleaning brass, etc. Stuff's amazing for lighting fires, alright? Now some of you who haven't seen it before, it's a lot of impregnated wadding, right? Now this happens to get fires going with absolute ease. Now that's what it actually looks like. You can see it's very, very fibrous. You pull it out and fluff it up. That will take a spark off a flint and steel or ferro rod, or indeed your lighter. And there's a lot in there, believe you me, you can start a hell of a lot of fires with that. Comes in its own cool little tin, which you can use for all sorts of things. Hell, you can even make a little stove out of it if you really wanted to. A little zip sealed in its bag, so it's nice and waterproof and it's not going to evaporate because it's got, I don't know, some sort of alcohol or something in there. It's fuel, you don't want it evaporating, alright? What else have we got here? Just for a laugh. So it's a tiny little pine cone full of resin. Break it up, get your lighter on it, and it will burn for quite a while, okay? Now these are really nice. If you're lucky enough to find this stuff, excuse the like fluff on it, it's from that dry lint, it all gets mixed up in the same bag. It's chaga, kindly given to me by my dear friend in Moscow, Lars. Used to be Moscow Prepper, but now is Survival Russia. Isn't this awesome? And also, last but not least, a nice box of quality storm matches. Really nice. So that all goes in the sealable bag, alright? So if you do have any problems lighting fires, I mean, you know, with this in conjunction with the kindling and the logs, we've got no problem lighting a fire in weather like this, alright? So I just thought I'd say that. You know, I'm not going to be cheating and pretending I've gone out there and processed all this with it. It's out of the vehicle, it just saves time, okay? Because, you know, I really do need to unwind, work, family,
Oh, so much crap. We need to get away. So I'm gonna have a lie down under this rain because it's nice under here. It's beautiful. Okay, so we've got the fire all ready, and the rain stopped, so this is perfect. And I like to light the fire around about this time. Okay, so what we've done is we scraped all the ground, dug out any roots and all the rest of it. We put the 4 logs as a boundary. We put 4 pieces of fat wood crisscrossed, and I've just Jenga styled all of the kindling on top. Now we're going to be using the old turbo button, which is the baby oil. So we just put a little squirt of that on there with a turbo lighter. Just heat her up. Nope, I think the fat wood's going to take its time. The baby oil is pretty good once it's all heated up and it's sort of established. So with what I squirted on already, once that heats up, that should catch pretty nicely. So theoretically, if I've done this right, I shouldn't really have to do anything else. It's just going to take its time and spread. Hopefully we can stop these midges, because they're everywhere, and I thought the rain would have kept them away, but I think what it's done is it's made them come under my shelter and get me. Okay, it's time for something to eat now, getting hungry. There's no point using the gel in the old stove, so we're just going to set it on the side of the fire. Just some fresh fuel underneath to make sure it comes to the boil. Once it's boiling, we'll take it off. We're going to be placing that inside, put the lid back on and just let it warm up. Right, by the sound of it, that's spitting away, that's nearly done. Because I've got gloves with me, it's nice and simple, but if you are doing something like this and you haven't got gloves, what a trick is, which I've done on an old video before, you find a stick and you make it fit and you just jam it in between the handles. Once it's in there, you can pick it up and move the cup, put it down wherever you want to, let it cool a bit, and then you can grab the handles, okay, if they've been near flame, etc. And it works quite well. But obviously we've got gloves, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think we're good. That's it, we got our hot water. That's all we really need. Now, obviously that's a small mug and you got a big packet. So what I've done is I've just squashed it right down in the bottom. Alright. Now all I'm going to be doing is just tearing the top off. Because what we don't want to do is put it in there like this. With all that pressure it could just explode and go everywhere. Make a right old mess. So that's us. Lots of lovely goodness. And all I'm going to do is just fold it over like that to make a nice little packet. It's still going to be hot, so we take it off with our glove, right, just to be safe. Don't forget, you're out here doing this by yourself and you burn yourself, you've got to sort yourself out, alright? So, that's all we're going to be doing. Nice and simple, right? Now all that's going to do is just heat up.
No flames necessary. Probably give that about 5 minutes, right? It's sat in there because it's just been boiled. Okay, so while that's just sitting down in there, rather than just let the fire burn itself and get silly, we just keep topping it up with the kindling. It just keeps it nice and hot in there, so the logs are actually going to be okay on their own. Now, I'm really looking forward to trying this. Can you see what that says? Yeah. Alligator in chicken. OMG, what the hell is all that about, eh? And we got venison stick with beef. So I'm going to be Dawson and Amanda. This is wicked, all the way from America. It reminds me of the pepperami. Look at that. And I'm trying to go vegetarian. That's what's making me laugh. Now I haven't eaten meat for a while. Wow, that's like that's like moist jerky. Alligator. It's got some bite. Sorry. That's quite nice. Let's try what we got here. Venison and beef. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to chopping these up into little bits with my little Swiss Army knife and chuck them in the grains with the old bay. Well, I've got to tell you, that tastes pretty good. Pretty good. It's got a sweet, sticky. Oh, that's very nice. Well, if any of you guys in America know anything about these are highly recommended. They're lovely. They're very, very nice. So thank you very much indeed for sending those over. You shouldn't have done it. And Dawson, my little linebacker, you the man, brother. You the man. The fire's looking lovely. Check it out. Whew. Now we're losing the light, so obviously when it happens, it starts to get a bit cooler. I've been fine all day with my fleece and my t-shirt, but I've got my little Austrian military fleece just in the bag over there, because I will need it at some point, but not now. It's fine. As I said in other videos, I only layer up when I feel I need to. Okay, there's no set time or whatever. If you start to feel a little bit cold, that's when you layer up. At the moment, without fire, that's lovely. Should have bought some bread and done some toast. That'd have been nice, wouldn't it? Okay, that's been sat in there for a while now. Use the spoon this time. I'm not really into using sporks, so this is a new one on me. For this sort of convenience, it's pretty good. But I would have thought, you know, with lots of real food, as it were, and vegetables and whatnot, it might be a bit of a pain on the backside. So, yep, I know. We're putting meat in there, as you do. I can't believe you can get alligator meat in a lemon pepperami stick. Who thinks of this stuff? That's better. Haha, Old Bay time. Now my dear friend Dale at Dirty Room Nice kindly sent this to me, and just on its arse about to run out. So you'll have to let me know we got it from Dale, because I'm going to get some ordered, because I do like this stuff, and I'm a big fan of it. Oh yeah, yeah. As I said earlier, you know, grains are great, but they're a bit bland, okay? And I'm not going to be going around collecting lots of herbs and stuff out here. This is just a convenience thing. I do grow my own herbs at home, actually. Yeah, get in there. That will do. Yep, I think rather than pour that into the mug. I might just eat it out of the bag. It's just more convenient that way. There it is. Wow, that's quite romantic actually. And there we are. You can see in there, all mixed up with a dead dog's eye. It's still nice and hot as well. Well, here it is. Still can't see the full moon, but it hasn't rained for well over 2 hours now. And I think it's time to crack open a real ale. Yes, 6.6%. Rather strong, hence just one. Very, very nice. Cheers, people.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
Happy full moon. Cheers. Haha. I really do love this stuff. It's beautiful. Very nice. Right, as I was saying earlier on in the video, a long time ago now, been off YouTube for a couple of months, a long time for me personally. It was just one of those strange times where everything was going on at once. You know, I'm not going to go into details because we've been here for ages and it's not really fair. It's just been family problems with health, other things. Work has just been crazy, mental, full-on son of a bitch madness. It's just been ridiculous. Okay, we usually have our overtime at work November to April, but it's just been carrying on, and it's going to go right up until September. Now, recently there's been a bit of ag at work, and you know, they wanted me and my supervisor to work every Saturday right up until the end of September, maybe beyond. And for me personally, another reason why the videos have been a bit scarce, as it were, I see my granddaughters every Sunday, and it does break my heart when you know, I'll come to these overnighters and whatnot, and you know, I'll come back, you know, mid-afternoon and they've just gone. Sometimes I'm home when they're still there and then they're gone, which is nice. But more often than not, they're not there when I come back and I don't see them. And I'm getting, where's Grandpa and when are we going to see him and all this. And you know, if I'm not working, you know, I was doing camping videos and stuff. So I had to sort of put things in perspective, you know. Work, family. Work, unfortunately, you know, you need money in this day and age to pay bills, eat, etc. So that's a priority. With family, of course, mother-in-law hasn't been very well. Yada yada. I don't want to go on too much because, you know, but that's the reason anyway. I'm not sure what time I'm going to have available to do videos, but I'll just do them as and when I can. I'd like to do 1 or 2 a week. That'd be awesome. You know, what happens and what we like and what we want are different things. It's just how it is, unfortunately. But I have missed you guys. You know, when I look at comments now and again, I try to catch up, but it's just so many. I've hit 40,000 now subscribers, so there will be a giveaway video coming up. I don't know when, but I'll try and find some time. I'm meeting up with a friend of mine who's I'm buying something from, which is going to be the prize for the giveaway. We won't say any more than that, we'll leave that there, but that's going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. The prepper meat, there's a few things I want to say about the prepper meat. It's going very well, but what I'm going to do is I want to do that in its own separate video. I don't want to put it in the middle of this because, you know, if a lot of people don't watch this because it's too long or whatever and they might miss important information, I'm just going to do a dedicated video for the prepper meat, and it will be as soon as I can, because there's some important information, hints, tips, etc. To go along with that, which is cool. That's pretty much all I need to say about what's been going on. not many details because it just ain't right. Okay, it's just family stuff. But yeah, things are looking up, which is very nice. And I could say the same about the weather, really. You know, it's not raining, which is awesome. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is get a cigar going, because a cigar with a bitter, you know, with a fire by the stream under a basher, that's pretty special. Okay, it's Monte Cristo time. It's been a while, so let's get prepped and enjoy the smoke. I'll tell you what, it's nice to know my friend in Australia, Rob, RDP Projects, is enjoying cigars as well, which is very nice. So, join me in a toast. And Dale, if you're watching, mate, it's up to you, just his personal preference, but make your jets a little bit longer, darling, yeah? It still lasts a long time, you've got no worries. And that can of gas I sent you won't believe how long that's going to last. If you just keep it for cigars, mate, we're talking years. You won't believe it. So, without the flame touching it, it's just heat now. That is absolutely toasted. What that means is, you don't have to load it again. Make sure it's nice and even around the edge and just breathe it in. That's it. Job done. And what you'll find, the better quality the smokes are, you'll get a decent long piece of ash. Okay, providing you're all careful with it and not like moving it around too fast and knock it and it will just fall off. But no, from Cuba, these Monte Cristos are a very decent smoke. Highly recommended. And yep, put my cutter away, nice and safe, and my lighter. Haha, happy days. Now, there's no single malt tonight, just this. I'm not a big drinker, just one bottle is more than enough for me. I didn't want to bring whiskey as well. Too much of a pisshead drinking on your own doing all that, if you ask me, but that's just me. I'm happy with just this. Well, this is lovely now. I'd like to take this moment to pause and reflect and to mention a few things. It's dogs, and only people who own dogs, or pet dogs, not working dogs especially, but you have a special bond with them, yeah. Now, a few friends of mine recently have lost their best friends, shall we say, and are 3 dear friends to me as well. So it's very sad, but unfortunately dogs, you know, they don't live as long as us, as we all know. First one was Paul, Jedi Knight of the Woods, lost his dog. Since then got a new one. My dear friend Saffron, she just lost her Staffy, Esme. So there's nothing I can say to make any of you guys feel better. Only the old cliche is time is the best healer. Over time, you know, things will fall into place and move on, and it will be what it needs to be, I guess. And then my mate Pete, Mind Wiseman, Maverick Outdoors. Some of you might not know on YouTube, but his dog Akasha died recently. Safari dog, as she was lovely known as. And yeah, I just thought I'd mention it because dogs are great. Cats have got attitude, they're bonkers, but dogs, you know, you come home from work, you've had a crappy day, and you know that dog
just shows you so much love, and it's just absolutely, it's beautiful. And yeah, just a shout out to the dogs in the house. Wow, it's midnight. You're not going to believe this. There is the moon. No way. I can't believe it. That is just beautiful. It's still quite cloudy, hazy. It's not crystal clear, but nonetheless, it's still moonlight. You remember the film Kelly's Heroes? My Hero, Oddball, when they kept blowing up that bridge. It's a beautiful bridge, and it's gonna be there. I was thinking that about the moon. It's a beautiful moon, and it's gonna be there. And guess what? Positive thinking has paid off. There she is. Christ, I can't believe that. That's moonlight through there, baby. Wow. Wow. That's the end of this evening. I'm going to turn in now because that fire's on its last legs. Give it another 10 minutes or so, and I'll be in that lavoo. It's all been arranged, ready for a nice, lovely night's sleep by the stream. The weather's turned out very well considering, and yeah, to see the full moon is always a blessing. It's really, really nice. If any of you people have never done this sort of thing before, especially doing a solo camp all by yourself, it really is a memorable experience. And try and find some time. I know everyone's busy, but try and find some time to at least do it once in your life. You won't regret it. And obviously for those guys who can't for whatever reason, I'm glad you tagged along to see what I saw and experienced. It's been really, really awesome.
Right, that's it. All lovely tucked up in me sleeping bag, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to sleep like a log. Every now and again you can hear the tawny owls outside, and obviously the constant gentle babble of the brook or the stream, and it's very, very nice indeed. So I think I'll put that candle lantern out and get my head down. So night night people, we'll see you in the morning. Morning people. Wow, what a sleep. I don't even want to get up. God, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I could stay here all day. Wow. Well, morning. It's hard to determine whether I'm actually refreshed, re-energised, or shattered. I feel shattered. Oh well, it wasn't a good night. Looking at it, probably schoolboy error. Never camp on a slope, even if it's a little bit. All night. Go sideways. Lessons learned anyway. I managed to get a couple of hours in, so that's enough. All right, so. Just can't believe it. Where's all this rain? Don't speak too soon. Well, me being me, I'm really hot on this. There's no pun intended there. First thing I've done this morning after having my pee is to clear the fire pit away. Don't know, I just really, something I really, not preach, but endorse, encourage. I just love doing it. I just can't, you know, when I woke up and saw the remnants of that fire amongst all this, nah. Well, luckily it was cold to the touch, all of it. No water was needed. And we're right by the stream, so all of the coals, there's only two, it's 2 small pieces, went straight in the stream and they went off, and they're just going to end up doing what they're going to be doing, I guess. But yeah, it's back to how it was now. Well, there it was where them sticks are. So in time, that will just grow over again. That's one less job for later on, I guess. And yeah, because it didn't rain, none of it's flooded. Okay, so it's been around about an hour, and we're almost packed, and that's quite a miracle for me, you know. Admin done as well. Wash, clean teeth, add something to drink. Most of the stuff's been put away. It's just a few bits to square away. But I thought I'd just mention this before I got carried away and forgot to mention stuff. A few things that didn't get used, and it's very strange as well. First time ever, never used my head torch. Yeah, very strange. I was using that little RAV power thing as a torch. It's brilliant, you know, charge my phone up a lot, use it as a torch, use it to pull it open to do filming in the dark. Very versatile bit of kit that is. So you know, that sort of thing I don't really use that often, but maybe I'll consider using that in a lot of my videos from now on. It saves me taking, I had 3 torches, you know, that's the only one I used. Makes you think. Pee bottle. Never used my pee bottle last night, and that's probably a first too. So, but I did have a nice big pee this morning. Sorry for sharing it with you. What else was there? There's a few other things as well, but you know, it's important to note that you don't really need to take 2 or 3 or 4 of the same items, if that makes sense. I know we all do, in case, you know, we lose one, but I think it's a good rule of thumb to pay attention to your kit, okay? You know, don't just be haphazard and leave stuff lying around. Pack up as you go, take stuff in and out, all the rest of it. It's for a good reason, so you don't lose things, and it's a very good rule as well to remember. As I say, I'll keep banging on about it, but the weather, who would have guessed it? It's remarkable, you know. The amount I mean, I was saying this to a few friends on Instagram last night. Excuse me. The amount of times I've planned to do an overnight camp, and the weather forecast every day for a week leading up to the event. Rain, and on the event it doesn't rain, or very little. I've lost count how many times, so There's another thing, very, very strange. But no, in fairness, to be immersed in nature like this, after all of the crap that's gone on, it really is a tonic, okay? It really is. And I think more and more people are realising that now. Yeah, of course, we still prep and we still got one eye on the future. But I think it's important to grab these reconnection times when available, right? We all get stressed, we all get wound up, we've all got problems, everyone has. But for me, this works. You know, you can spend a fortune on all these therapies and whatnot, but you come here for free and press that reset button, baby, and it's all good in the hood. Really cool. Wow, guess what? We've been busy and it's all been squared away in the Bergen there. Some of my regular viewers will recall me saying this every video. Always leave no trace and do your best, okay? It's very important because it's for nature as well and the wildlife. You know, you don't want to leave anything that can injure them or indeed injure any of us, you know, anything left lying around. So where we stayed here, you can see where it's all dry from the rain, was where the poncho was. And if you look over to the front, the fire was there. Now, luckily for me, it doesn't always happen, but luckily that was actually cold this morning. A good little tip, what I always try and do, if it is a small fire and I'll go to bed, I always make sure that the bits of wood that are on fire still are arranged in such a way where they're going to burn out as much as possible. Okay, so you've got as least debris in the morning to clear up. Don't just leave it. Arrange it in a way you can, get it going again so it burns most of it away. And as I said, I had two, you know, palm-sized pieces of wood that were charred, and the rest of it was all ash. So that worked out very well. I always try and do that now. So that's all of the ground clear. And as you pack up, always take a little bit of time just to double check the floor, just in case, you know, you've lost a car key, heaven forbid, some money, whatever. Here's the dry spot where the lavvu was. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let's come over here, where it does slope a bit. So, lessons learned. I won't be doing that again. Blimey, what a pain in the ass trying to sleep sliding down them bloody roll mats last night. So, yep, that's all been squared away as well. No dramas there. And there's a few other naughty people, shall we say, been leaving a bit of a mess, so I've picked up all of that as well. And also, it's important when you do see rubbish, especially if you go to a regular spot, find out about them, these people. So straight away, I know that these people smoke roll-ups, and as smokers, there's clues everywhere of what they're up to, what they like. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I was looking around earlier as I was going to tidy up, and it breaks my heart to see this. What's this? Sports isotonic drinks, 2 for 90p. Now you couldn't pay me to drink that poison shit, not a chance. So I'm guessing buying roll-ups and that sort of stuff, I reckon they're teenagers. I mean, who in the right mind would drink that stuff? Anyway, so that's coming out with me. We want to try and leave this magical place as it is. We don't want it being a mess. So yeah, always make sure that you check, tidy up. Even bits of paracord, yeah? Bits of paracord you might forget, tied on a tree, boom, take it away. Wow, that's it. One last final check and we're out of here. Whoops. I'll tell you what, eating those that alligator stick, my farts are unbelievable. Man, I'm pumping big style.
Man, that's whew. The only trace I did leave there was some eggy methane remnants. By Jove, that was some smell. Right. It's hard to believe. I'll say it, I don't know how many times I've been here, but every time I come here after some degree of absence, the place changes so much. I mean, the last time I was here it was bare. Now it's like a bloody jungle, and we're not even in proper summer yet. Well, not in my book anyway. Wow. Unbelievable. Whoops. Just awesome. Right. Look out. Yeah, it sure is great to be back outdoors. It really is. But how is it like a jungle now? It's insane. Proper overgrown. But fun. Yeah, you should do this sort of thing as kids. You know, I feel sorry for some kids these days because, you know, wherever you see kids, they're glued to some sort of screen or something, you know. Drives me nuts. It's like they're missing out on everything. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now. We've reached the path. So, I'll bid you farewell. Thanks ever so much for coming along and supporting my channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay funky.